What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Now, the video that we're about to show you is a person who has went viral on social media and
received a lot of backlash. For
the fact that she has a ton of kids. And just by me saying that, I know a lot of you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Hello, I just want to address something. I see that there's a creator who's made 23 videos about me, my story, and my life. I've never got on this app and asked anybody for anything. I'm just here to post my content. And all I ask from you guys is to like my content and share my videos. That's it. I don't know why people see 6 kids as a lot. There's a lot of people out here with multiple kids. I have 6 kids because as a child, I was never loved. I'm trying to give my kids the love I never had. I needed my kids, if that makes sense. I needed them. I was 14 years old searching for love, and my first baby daddy, he was that for me. My kids are loved. They're happy. They're fed. I play activities with them. I make sure that they see that mom's trying. I'm trying. And I'll never give up on my kids. Never.
Getting online with a filthy ass house, with a boatload of fucking kids, being a horrible ass parent is the new way to come up. I just saw that young girl that's 26 with 6 kids and 1 on the way. And I remember that white lady that had all them damn kids and they were sleeping on the kitchen floor. I'm so fucking disgusted. I come from that. I was born into that. And to see all these fucking adults online justifying this shit and saying don't judge is bullshit. Nobody talks about how traumatizing that shit is to the kid. I was born on the south side of Chicago. And when I tell you I was born at below poverty, okay? We didn't have floors. We had fucking dirt as floors, okay? We didn't have doors. We had a kitchenette with 2 fucking small rooms, all right? I lived with fucking rats and rodents crawling on me my whole fucking childhood, okay? We were so poor that we didn't have a wash machine. We would wash our clothes in the tub and dry our clothes in the fucking oven, all right? It was times when we didn't have running water. The house was so fucking filthy. It looked like it was abandoned, okay? Coming home to no lights, going to school dirty and hungry. I know what that shit feels like. And for y'all to be sitting up here talking about some don't judge, y'all are fucking horrible people, man. Kids are not put here to heal your trauma. Kids are not put here to fucking suffer. You can only blame your childhood to a certain degree. Once you become an adult and you know better and you keep making the same fucking mistakes, it's something wrong. And I'm blaming both the men and the women, because the men that's in the back door sleeping with these women that they know have problems and self-esteem and daddy issues, getting them pregnant and waltzing off, and she's stuck with all these fucking kids because she don't know what the fuck. She don't even know how to love herself, so she's having kids to love her. That's trauma. It was times when my childhood was so fucking hard. It was times when I did feel like, why did you even have me? You growing up, you're not being loved properly. You're not being taken care of. You go into adulthood with no fucking support, no way to run, nowhere to go, no nothing. You in this world just trying to figure out everything on your fucking own. There is no way possible you should be okay with having those many kids living like that. Get online, being a fucked up parent. Next thing you know, you got an Amazon wish list. Everybody in the comments, don't judge what you need. I give you what you need. You motherfuckers that's saying don't judge is simply the ones that's doing the shit, or you just want to feel more superior to look down on people, because in life, that's what people want to do. They want to feel more superior. It makes you feel good about yourself when you feel superior, and when you can look down on somebody and say, oh, she's doing horrible. I'll help you. I'll send you what you need, because you want to see the fucking chaos unfold, because low-key, your shit ain't in order neither. I'ma always speak up for the kids. You talking about couldn't even get a good bed to sleep in. Slept in a motherfucking bed with springs sticking out of it and scratching you up every night. You going to bed with all these fucking bruises and scratches on you. Going to school hungry, dirty, stinky, being teased. Come on now. And the sad part is those kids are going to grow up creating that same cycle. 9 out of 10, most of them are. Because a lot of them don't have the mental capacity to even make it out of that. Y'all just gonna keep having kids telling us I'm looking for somebody to love you. Stop having fucking kids and heal. Kids are not put here to heal your trauma. I really wish people understood that.
Very deep, right?
I'm so happy that we were able to put both of those videos together to not only gain some clarity, right? From the perspective of the person who's having the kids, and from the perspective of the effects that it had on the person who was on the other side of the spectrum.
Okay.
Okay? I'm so happy that I found those 2 videos, because a lot of times when we have these type of conversations, right, a lot of people, because they're not the one who had to endure that situation, they're quick to, oh, you know, my mama did the best that she could possibly do because mom could do no wrong, actually. Well, you know, some people just can't relate to it.
Yeah.
So to see both women, shed light on this situation. Yeah. It's like, what do you guys think?
From looking at it, honestly, I would say that the first young lady, who's 27 years old, right?
Well, now Beanie's 27.
She should be about 28 by now.
No, Beanie's 27. And 27? Quick update, she now has 7 kids. 7 kids, okay. Because she gave birth recently. Okay. So 27 with 7 kids. Okay. That is a lot of kids. Yeah. I wouldn't be here. I don't want to beat her up too much. No, because we're not here for that. Yes. We're here to shed light on the situation. Right. Not to ridicule, not to belittle, none of that negative stuff. This is just to shed light. I feel I'm sorry. I feel like she's getting enough backlash. Okay. Yeah. However, I feel like, and I've said this in another video before, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go in and bash her because she is trying. Okay, the kids are already here. She can't put them back. She is trying. However, sometimes putting yourself in a situation and then trying is just not enough. Okay? Now, they're here, so she has to keep trying. However, if you're not in her situation, please don't put yourself in her situation. Right. Because that is one hell of a situation. One hell of a situation. If you're not financially capable and able, emotionally, socially, physically, and you can't provide medically, you shouldn't be having all those kids. Right. As I said in another video, between the time a child is born up until they're about 18 to 21, it takes, believe it or not, in order for them to have a decent life, it takes about $1 million. Correct. Yeah. Okay, listen to me clearly, loves. It takes about $1 million to raise that child. If spending $34,000 a year, okay, it takes about $1 million. If spending about $34,000 a year, you could take care of a child for the first 20 years of life. The $1 million does not even constitute to, let's say, them staying at home until they're 25 to 30 years old. Correct. Okay, so what I'm saying is it takes a hell of a shitload of money to take care of a child. Especially when they get older and their wants and needs change. Of course, you know, and I did not have to endure situations like this, thank God, because... But we do sympathize with situations like this because we know that life is lifing all the time. Things happen. Whatever her reason to you know, for wanting to have that many kids, she wants love. Obviously, she's reaching out for help. Yes. She's not reaching out for somebody to tear her down, to make her feel any way different. And her first baby daddy, she met him at 14. I think that's what she said. But her first child popped out at 15. Okay, I would assume she had her first child at 15 because I was watching another video. So there's years of neglect. Yeah, we have a daughter who's 13. That's only 2 years. And our kids are so childlike, as they should be. As they should be, yes. Right? And we have to make, especially as people of color, we have to make getting psychological help a thing. Yeah. We have to sit down with a psychiatrist. We have to sit down with the psychologist. There's 2 different things. But depending on your need for mental help, we have to make it a thing to, listen, insurance pays for it. Yeah. I don't care if you have Medicaid. Yeah. Insurance pays for it. It's just that, I guess it's a pride thing. That because we're taught that a lot of black people to be strong and try to deal with it on your own. Yes. 90% of the time you're effing weak if you need to reach out for help. Right. No, a lot of us need help because we have to understand that the people that are telling us that we need to be strong and we need to this and we need to that, we have to understand. No, fuck it. They are living. Not to curse. I'm sorry, but this is like crazy right now. But they it's been a situation that has been passed down from great grandmother to grandmother to grandmother to daughter to daughter to the kid that she currently has. That, oh, we strong, we fought the good fight, we was in the yard picking cotton and all this other crazy shit. So therefore, it's considering they had to endure such harsh treatment and negativity.
What's wrong with you doing it too?
Right. So it's like, if I dealt with my situation, you in a different day and age, you could deal with your shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that should not have to be the point, or that should not have to be the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Because what that does, it destroys another generation too. Because if they didn't get it right back then, what makes you think that their way of doing it is going to make it right this time?
As this young lady said, the person, from the perspective of her, that shit means a lot. Because you see, what people fail to realize is, as adults, now Beanie's an adult now. She's 27, almost 30.
Okay.
I get where she's coming from, and in her mind, she thinks that she's doing a great job. But kids deserve more than that. Call it what it is, okay?
Definitely.
Do kids deserve to go to public school and be ridiculed? No. If public school is not working for your kid, you should be able to enroll your kid into private school or an environment that's safe. Should kids have to grow up in the ghetto, considering we see so many things that go, that pop off in the ghetto? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? No. They should be raised in a neighborhood that's safe and secure, where they could ride their bikes up and down the place and do what they gotta do.
Without worrying about no pedophile snatching or nobody of that crazy nature.
But I mean, there's pedophiles all over, even in the burbs. But what I mean to say is, they should be able to be safe without having to worry about gunshots.
Correct.
Having to worry about being prematurely killed. Right? And like she said, they grew up shit.
Yeah.
She said they grew up below the poverty line. So you know that what that has to constitute? That shit is crazy. Growing up below, she didn't even say she grew up at the poverty line. Below. That's how poor she was.
Yeah.
And the stuff that she had to endure, and the ridicule of people teasing her as a child, that alone within itself is trauma. Because how many times as a kid, we all remember going to school, and we all remember that one kid who smelled like urine
or something else.
I know I do. Or feces, or their hair is not well kept and they have a lot of lint balls going on in their head. We know, because I remember the students, name for name, who came to school. And shit. But the last time I've been in elementary school was way back in the 80s. And I remember all that stuff as if it was yesterday.
I mean, truth be told too, a lot of those kids that we may have seen in that bad predicament back then, they might as well, they might be some very successful people to this day. It's just that they were going through a situation at that time.
They shouldn't have to go through that.
Everybody who walking around with something, not as suitable should not be ridiculed and just.
But that's life. They should not be ridiculed, right? You're not going to tease them. Let's take it back to childhood. You're not going to tease them.
Somebody will.
But exactly, because that's just how people are. That's just how people are made. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because it takes me back to a time when I remember living on a particular block, right? And our block was really, really nice and stuff like that. A block, grew up in Brooklyn, New York. A block filled with brownstones, right? Take the Brooklyn part out. Grew up in New York, right? And our block was filled with brownstones and private houses and apartment buildings and stuff like that. Brick apartment buildings, nevertheless, right? And long story short, on the other block, there happened to be an abandoned building.
Yes, I remember.
Okay? And that abandoned building, now that I think of it, whenever we used to go past it, me and my grandmother, or me and my mom, to go to the grocery store. I didn't know back then, but I know now. Because every time you will look in that building, it would be like, it would be always dark. And when I say dark, I'm talking about a sunny day, 90-degree weather, and you look, because they had the front doors open.
It almost looked haunted.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
They had the front doors open. And when you would go past and you look in there, it was dark because there was no light. They probably was squatting. Right. And there was a shitload of kids that came from that building that went to my school. Yeah. And the majority of them were always smelling really bad. The ones that did smell decent, they had to keep wearing the same clothes over and over again.
Yeah. Poverty is not a joke.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke, to be honest with you. I mean, shout out to anybody who been through that situation, who lived that life, and now you're above.
Just trying to do your best to stay above.
You're able to now see what it is, what it's like. You know, your foot was in them shoes at one point. So moving forward, your kids should kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Treat other kids with
a level of respect.
A little bit just,
because
you know,
as a minor, you can't help to who you, as a minor, you can't help what happens to you, right? You can't help who your parents are. You just can't. Like, you don't have any control over who your parents are.
Correct.
You know, you just have to deal with the situation that you're here on earth and your parent is messed up, whether it be on drugs, alcohol, you know, they're an abuser of some sort, right? Whether it be physical or abusing substances, or they just don't give two flying shits about you. And you just have to try your best to overcome that. But, you know.
And trust and believe. Trust and believe. Like, when I tell you I understand where both of them are coming from, I get it. Those situations where you had to use a candle to walk through the house because the lights was off. You had to maybe boil some water because there was no, you know what I'm saying, no hot water. Or either you had one but you didn't have the other. So either you took a cold shower or you just didn't take no shower. You know, situations like that. You know, listen, shit happens, life happens. You rise above it, stay above it. Do not ridicule or belittle, down talk, whatever, downplay, whatever y'all want to say. Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because a little conversation to somebody, a little bit of understanding could actually uplift that person to not do anything negative to themselves.
A little bit of help.
You understand? So even if you do put forward some form of monetary donations or help towards that person,
or even some food,
it's not a
something.
bad thing, like the young lady said in the video. Yeah, it may hinder them for a little while because they start to get comfortable. But to every situation, there is an end. To every start, there's an end, right? Nobody is designed to stay in a situation forever unless they get complacent and they want to stay that way. So just kind of take these videos in some form of understanding as to not tear anybody down. And with that, you know, I'm going to close this out, right?
Exactly.
And tell you guys, you know.
And like I said earlier, you have... That's okay. You know, so like I said, I'm not gonna beat Benny up, but wow. Kids deserve a lot more than what you think they deserve, and I get it. It's hard for her to understand what they deserve because she has not been in a place where it was demonstrated to her in order for her to know what a child really deserves. She's just winging it, if you will, at this situation, right? And she just feels because she's not doing what her parents did to her, that she's being a great mom. But kids need more than that, because let's keep it a buck. If public assistance was to cut off today or tomorrow, and if they were to take back Section 8 and whatever housing programs that they have, she would be asked out. Correct. Okay, and those kids are the ones who will have to suffer, and no kid should be brought upon this earth to suffer.
I mean, the greatest gift that she did give to them was life, but as they grow, they are going to require more and more things as they grow. What's
going to happen when they go, especially, you know, and a lot of times in these situations, unless you're a kid, for instance, right, they're super bright, right?
Correct.
Or they have a very high
IQ level,
or test scores. Do they get offered, let's say, maybe scholarships or something like that to go to an exceptional school? And sometimes those schools are way out of the area. Right?
The school zone.
Right. And you have the 6 kids, they all go to this particular school, and the other one who may be granted the scholarship have to travel way out. And a lot of parents, and a lot of you know, your parents ain't willing to do that. Now, the majority go here, everybody going here. Better yet is right down the block, and that's it. And as my husband said, at a certain age, they're gonna once they know how to start asking for stuff, they're gonna require more.
Especially with social media involved right now. Yeah.
And at that point in time, how can you supply their want?
Correct. And you definitely don't want them to become a victim of the streets.
Right.
Because of their wants and needs.
Exactly.
So that leads to where, you have to have some kind of self-compassion to say, you know what, listen, I'm going through this situation. Let me just slow down with having these kids. Nobody said that you cannot procreate, but do it with some form of common sense to say that, you know what, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't need to elaborate any further.
And then we all know that going to public school could be hell on wheels, especially in this day and age. It's even worse now.
It is.
Right? And you have to, your kid is going to these schools where kids, a lot of them are still poor, but they have it a little bit better than your child. So in order to make themselves feel better and superior, they're going to tease your child.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the worst thing that a mother could hear her child say is that, Mom, they're teasing me in school. Mom, nobody likes me in school. Those type of things, not in every situation, but in some instances, lead to suicide.
Yeah.
It leads to kids dropping out of school and taking, you know what, I'm
becoming
tired of being broke.
On the streets.
Right. I'm tired of being broke, so I'm going to go out there and hustle. And to be honest with you, we see this so often because a lot of the people who do what Benny is doing, and I've seen girls in New York do it, where their mom had 7-10 kids, and they come right around, and all the females in the family do the same shit.
Thing. Yeah.
Right? And it's ridiculous. And like I said, we see it so often to the point where these kids, they end up, why do you think there's so many kids on the street right now, so many young men, right? Terrorizing the communities.
Yeah.
When they get to a certain age.
They get 13, 14, they're kicked out. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're kicked out into the real world to bring in some form of income.
Right.
So now they have to turn around and become...
You lean on to your boys as if they're the husband.
Yes.
Not to mention the oldest boy has it the worst. He can't even go to school and do what he has to do and get a furthered education because he feels sorry and he has to take care of Mom because of her fuck-ups during her time.
Or even the oldest girl. The oldest girl now becomes a mother at an early age because now she has to take care of the younger siblings.
Exactly.
She have to do that.
And she feels like, if I could take care of them, I could have kids. I've been doing it anyway. Right. Or she falls victim to a man who uses money as a way to lure her in because he sees her circumstance and situation. A lot of times we as parents, we have to make better choices. We're the ones that keep not only continuing the vicious cycle, but we're the ones that put our children in harm's way. And we really have to stop doing this nonsense. But tell me what you think. Do you agree with the first video that Beanie made? Or do you agree with the young lady from, who experienced it firsthand? Right? Her story was so moving. Shout out to you. And, wow.
Of course.
Wow. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that you made it out and you seem that you turned out to be an amazing person.
Of course.
And that's about it, my love. So let us know in the comment section if you agree with the first video or the second video, or you are
even if you
on the
agree
fence.
With us.
Right. Or are you on the fence? You agree with both of them from two different standpoints, or you simply agree with the second video, or you say, something, I like what you guys are saying. But nevertheless, be sure to hit that like button
and
subscribe,
share the video.
And you heard the man, so share that video. And we'll definitely catch you guys in another video.
All right.